Hey there, everybody. A lot of us goal-oriented people are totally about what our outcome, our output is. Really, we should be more focused on what we're overcoming and celebrating that. Let's jam and check it out. Hello, everybody. Welcome on in. My name is Jenna O'Malley. I am your soul writer, author of sci-fi fantasy with dashes of romance and nerdy references. Welcome back, Soul Bard Collective. It's so good to see you. Today, we're going to take a little bit of a deep dive into the draw from the cup of positivity that we got last night in my writing sprints. This was actually one in my handwriting. So overcome, not always outcome. 4 very important words I'm very much relearning. I taught as a high school English teacher and a developmental reading teacher for 13 plus years of my life at this point. And a lot of what education has geared itself to focus on in the classroom, not just for us teachers, recovering teacher in my case, or students, and in many of cases, recovering students for you all, it very much goes down to, are we caring more about what we're overcoming and are we celebrating that? Or are we focused too much on what the outcome and output would be? Because we're always looking at data. And I can tell you, data is a good thing to have so long as you keep it contextualized within its own container of what it points out for you, for better or worse. It's up to you with what you move on to go and do with it. And I do apologize if you can hear them mowing the lawn. I thought I had this timing down. Every time I think I have this time perfectly so they don't interrupt us on a Wednesday, they interrupt us, and I apologize. So let's just keep on going. What are 5 ways that you can keep focusing on overcoming things? Now, some of these things can take you to that outcome end of the terminal very, very easily. It's a slippery slope, so do reflect along these 5 lines. Number 1, mindset shifting. Around the time I started becoming a teacher, Dr. Carol Dweck, D-W-E-C-K, became very, very, very well known for doing research on growth mindset. Now, 10 years later, we know a ton about what it means to have a fixed versus growth versus rigid versus fluid mindset. And we know that the difference between one and the other is simply grit. Are you willing to grit your way through the hard stuff to get to what's better on the other side? It's not about somebody else's grass being grower. It's what in the world are you doing to make your grass look just as green? You can go next door and learn how they're making their grass greener, but you should bring that home and use it on your own garden. It's kind of where that growth mindset model goes. And it really, I shouldn't even say should, because that's a fixed mindset. You're looking at yet. You're looking at, as my coaches in full-time purpose, Matt Schaefer predominantly would say, up until now. It's this symbolism of you're training your brain to release things. And another easy way to practice shifting that growth mindset is not just in those teeny tiny little phrase things that you can program into your day. You can ask people to help you do so, or hang around people and fill your feed and what you consume with people who speak that way. That all helps. But also practice gratitude, not just to other people, because if you're not grateful for yourself, you're not really grateful for everybody else around you, are you? And I'm like, ouch. That's a hard pill to swallow. That's a really hard pill to swallow. So make sure you're practicing gratitude. Now, a friend of mine, one of my mentors in full-time purpose, Aaron, would say, practice reframing things, holding your frame. Don't go to the negative. Don't absorb what other people say. This is a really, really difficult one for me because mom was a narcissist and I grew up with an older sibling who ended up succumbing to addiction for reasons because he was allowed to just treat the world the way he wanted. And you have to learn that those people choose to sometimes be that way. And if you're an adult, I'm going to say 90% of the time it's a choice that becomes a routine habit and mindset for you. And you can reframe those. It takes work. I'm 2 years into that work, and I'm way better than where I was 2 years ago. It still takes that focus on the process, not the results. Then number 2, of course, setting realistic goals. Now, I've taught in the United States K-12 public school system forever. We had SMART goals shoved down our throats forever for our method of lesson planning, but really they can be used for life. So are your goals specific? Can you measure them? Are they achievable? Are they even relevant? And are they bound to a frame of time? This is why I love doing weekly planning, monthly planning, just keeping track of my goals in any small way, because I don't use the data to bash myself. I'm trying to make sure I'm reframing it into, look, when you actually sit your butt in the chair and do the thing and you show up, it looks great. And often in less time than I think it takes. So that's why you need to also look at how your goals are unrealistic. It's going to take leaps and bounds, but how can you conquer them one step at a time? Don't allow yourself to get frustrated. I'm a Virgo. This is kind of an earth elemental thing, frustration, right? I often have to remind myself it's okay that it didn't fail this time. Formula 409 failed 408 times, supposedly. It's okay for me to fail 10, 20, 30 times at least until I'm good at something. So number 3, that leads to building resilience. And really, I think this is where a lot of us as adults are stuck. We are good at making the plans. It's the following through where we often fall short. And it doesn't have to be perfect. To quote my mentors from Full Time Purpose yet again, consistent, committed, imperfect action, showing up, putting your butt in the chair and just doing the thing. It does not matter that it looks ugly in the draft. That is editing you's problem anywho. And if you're paying someone to edit stuff for you, it's their problem because you're paying them to worry about that. And you bought back not having to worry about that and the time it would take you, right? So develop a support network while you're trying to build that resilience. This is why I adore Heart Breathing's writing community so much. This is why I adore authortube and booktube. This is why it's so important for me to repair relationships and friendships and have a best friend again. I haven't had like a best friend who is solely my best friend to soulmate levels since high school. And even in high school, it was always my best friend had someone else who was their best friend. So they were my best friend, but I was not theirs. And that's something that takes resilience to learn from past experiences, and definitely something some adults are learning to work through, because not all the time you were meant to have the same friends your whole life, and they come and go. So if you did have the same group of friends forever and you never learned to adapt away from them, learning to do that's a skill to work on at any age, not just childhood. So learning to stay adaptable and open to change, hold your frame, and it's okay for you to be you and them to be them. Definitely so. That's going to lead into number 4, believe it or not. Working out your resilience in your relationships especially is going to lead to more effective time management. Why? You're going to have people who are going to help you learn your strengths and weaknesses, especially if you're like, I'm not managing my time well. What can I do to help? I'm sure you have so many friends who will be like, here, go try this thing. It's free. Here's what I do. Try it for a week. It's free. You might have a friend who will be like, come and have coffee with me or sit with me during this live stream with somebody to do planning. Here's some tools. You never know that the people around you that could be your support system might be also the key to reminding you it's okay for you to show up whenever you want. You are not late. You are on wizard mode and it's Wednesday. It's great to have you here. And you know what? You're dealing with a lot at home. Sam, hugs to you, hugs to you. Big time friend. So this is kind of apropos with you right now. Life threw you a curveball. Your time management got a hiccup this week in the form of plumbing issues. That literally takes your day from you because you suddenly have to find this time to deal with this thing that's a higher priority. You will catch up on everything else in your pace and your time and your stride. This is why I love the concept of wizard mode, to the point that I themed an entire weekly sprint around it on my other channel. Wizard mode, it's just what Gandalf and Lord of the Rings kind of calls it. I show up to the party whenever I feel like it. And I enjoy it while I'm there when I'm there. And you'll show up to those tasks when you get there. It's okay. Set boundaries for yourself to know it's okay that life gets squirrely and a little bit out of your hands. It's okay. It's very okay. You know what tools are out there to help you. This is why the more I'm looking at the planners I have, I'm going, I literally used to track all this in my Legend planner, which was one planner that was like, and now it takes me 4 planners to track the same thing. Why am I not going back to my Legend planner? Because happy planners are cheaper and often on sale and have the spiral ring thing that I like. So you see where even here with my own time management tools, I'm finding a conflict in them. So find what works for you and just know it's okay to adapt even here. Finally, first and foremost, your friends, YouTubers, me, we're not professional therapists. Even if we are professional therapists, sometimes you need to hire a professional to help. Yes, it does. It's fine. We're fine. It's fine. And you have 2 planners and a master list. I have way too much. I went planner crazy this year. But as far as like seeking professional help goes, I don't necessarily just mean therapy. This can literally be seeking professional help for some of you. Like with Sam, you had to call a plumber. Let's get real. You had to call a plumber. You know, sometimes it's, I need to call someone to help me clean my house because it's out of control. Or even a friend of mine at my former day job at the middle school I used to teach at, she's had 3 kids, and she just posted the other day, I feel so embarrassed that I need to go and see a specialist to help me because my typical mommy bag of tricks ain't working to get my baby to feed. She's tried bottles, she's tried natural, she's tried everything. And she's going to a pediatrician nutritionist now because her kid is just stubborn. And literally the nutritionist said, we have a picky eater from birth. I kid you not. So they're already fighting with, kid wants things their way at the dinner table. And this is her, 3rd, 4th kid. So it's okay. It's going to throw you a loop. Sam says, it made me so mad to have to call one. You like to do it all by myself, dang it. My father was a handyman carpenter. I feel this. There's oftentimes like building the very desk that my computer's sitting on, which I've blown the leg out over here with my chair on because I fell and needs fixed. I keep telling the Cheesecake Man, it's okay, I'll fix it. It's okay, I'll fix it. I know I just need to go to the hardware store and get a couple of L brackets and some screws, and it'll be fixed. Have I actually gone to the hardware store and gotten that stuff? Not yet. Am I going to call a professional to do it? I might have to cave and, let the handyman of the house do it, is more where I'm at, even though I'm my father's daughter. So you can see where even sometimes it's just allowing the people who live in your space. This is part of the issue. The other part of the issue is we're down to one car right now, and he has the car at work. So I can only go out on his days off at the moment, compounding that, right? So you definitely get into a situation of, can I even seek professional help? And just ask people in my circle who are professionals to help me with some things, leave the therapy stuff. And if it really needs a certified professional, get a certified professional, electrical work and all that jazz being what it is. But goodness gracious, if your friend cuts hair real good, but doesn't have her beautician's license and all you need is a trim, that'll work for now, right? This is oftentimes why I say ask who your friends know, because you never know who's in your extended friend circle who might be able to give you a hand and help you out as well, okay? So sometimes seeking professional help does include asking for that good old word of mouth recommendation. So do make sure that you are looking at ways you can overcome things. So that way you can lead to celebrating whatever life throws your way, physically, mentally, or more. Carpenters agree with L brackets. Hey, duct tape. You add duct tape in between that glue and those L brackets, man, I kid you not, ain't going nowhere. Will it look pretty? I don't care. No one's going to see it. Either way, everybody, thank you for being here. Thank you for taking a little bit of time live or on the replay. Just to remember, you're overcoming more and more than your data sets and your outcomes that you've given for yourself will ever allow you to have the wiggle room to acknowledge. Time is on your side. You're just not in control of it. So enjoy it while it lasts. Take care of you. Your voice matters, dang it.